Watch him throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive, this is Trap or Dive.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of Trap or Dive Podcast. I am your host, Trap or Dive Podcast, Mual. Dre is in here. AJ is in the building as well. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're on the YouTube side of things. Twitch, Twitter, what's up? Appreciate y'all checking in. However, which way you are watching, man, is definitely appreciated. If you're on the audio side, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, man, however you watching, or excuse me, however you listening, man, hit the follow button. Rate and review if you can as well. It takes 10 seconds to do so, and it's free to show your support that way. Fellas, we're back, man. Last time we talked, we were looking for a defensive coordinator. We're still in that same boat. Washington has not made any moves on that side of the ball, essentially. But since we've last talked, I'm sorry. Pause. We're not even. How y'all doing? What's up, man? I ain't talked to y'all in a couple days.
It's good, man. MLK Day, man. Basketball day, national championship today. We got to go back to work tomorrow, so I'm just getting my mind right with some sports on this day.
Nice little natty tonight, That's going to be a good one.
Let's go.
You better not have a 40-minute.
Hey, I put some money on Indiana already.
Better not have a 40-minute halftime. I know that much, bro.
Oh, please no.
I don't remember. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't think. Now, granted, they pulled this up to 7. It looks like 7:45. These shows used to start at like 9:00.
I know, bro. I'm glad it's starting early. I'd be tired.
That's what I'm saying. And then you got the 30-40 minute halftime Jones. I don't remember like those 9:00, 8:30 Jones. I'm not. I don't make it all the way through. I catch like the tail end on ESPN or some shit.
30-minute halftime? What are you talking about?
No, they be
bro. College halftimes are long as shit.
Hey, well, at least for the championship and the playoffs, like, they be going a lot.
You go on YouTube, watch a whole video on YouTube, bro, and come back and they just starting the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good. I'm just hoping for a solid game, a competitive game. Just being able to look at some possible NFL prospects, such as Bain and especially Massador. Massador is one of my favorite pass rushers. I think that even us doing Trap or Dive, so much focus is on hey, who you gonna take with the 7th overall pick? But as we seen over the weekend, it's guys that have been taken top 10 in the draft and didn't necessarily pan out in their original places, like a Kayvon Chasen or whatever, however you say his name. He got drafted probably number 7 from Jacksonville. Didn't work out there, ended up going to the Raiders, and now he's blossoming into, where you could see his first round like potential. You've
Chase Young
seen it.
too.
Say that again.
I said Chase Young too. He
Yeah,
another.
Chase Young. I mean, just even from the week, Daniil Hunter, like, well, he's a 2nd round pick.
Who
Nick,
did Danielle
Nick,
went to the Minnesota, right? He got
yeah,
drafted by Minnesota.
yeah,
I,
he got drafted by
I had to
Minnesota.
remember. I was like, yeah, he been cooking for
But then,
a
but then
brick.
you got Nick Benito. He's a second
Yeah.
round pick. So yeah, it's not always about getting that first round pick. It's just about making the right damn pick. Man, that's really what it's about, and putting them in the right situation. So I think tonight we'll be able to see, one of the guys that's in conversation, Ruben Bain, and yeah, just see how he handles going against
Who you are
Indiana.
not a fan of, right, AJ? You are not a fan of Bain.
I'm a fan of Bain, but not at defensive end. I think that he could be a very impactful D tackle
Really?
within the right situation. Yeah, I just don't like the short arms. Like I personally got a preference of how I like my players, and I just think that his arms are way too short. It's one thing to be that stature and have long arms, let's say like a Elvis Dumerville or Von Miller, whatever the case is, but he don't have long arms, and I just think that that's going to be a bit of a challenge transitioning to the NFL ranks. But it's just interesting that we're about to watch Miami go against Indiana in the national championship. Like
Yeah,
Indiana,
that's gonna be fun, bro. Like, cause I think like for me, I look at that game. Appreciate everybody in the chat. What's up, Monty Amani? What's up to all the trappers? Bro, I look at both of these teams, and I have like a rooting. Damn, I just had deja vu. This is actually insane. Okay, I look at both of these teams, bro, and I actually have a rooting interest for both sides. Like I think I said this 1,000 times before though. Like I'm an underdog guy. Like I love underdogs, and Indiana, as they've been a terrible collegiate program forever. And like the last 2 years, they've been on fire. They haven't lost at all this year. I would love to see them go 15-0. Like that would be lovely. I think like the work that they put in that head coach, he a dog. I don't know exactly like what his prospects would be like on an NFL level, but
oh, he said he never wants to coach in the
I
NFL.
hope he
yeah,
does.
I'm about to say for what he does on
He
the
said
college
that.
level, like no, so what I was saying is I don't know like if I don't know what his projection would be if he went to the NFL level, because like what he does on the college level, it doesn't always translate. Like people on one level here can hear your message differently than the people on another level. But like what he's done there is incredible. And then look at Miami, and like Miami, I always had an affinity for. I actually, if there was one PWI that I was gonna go to, it was that school. It was Miami.
For good reason.
And
South Beach.
I didn't know no better back then though either. Like I was fresh out of high school. Like I just loved Miami, University of Miami, for all the obvious reasons. And it was really at that point it was a lot to do with football. But like now they're back in it, like just from an actual competitive standpoint. So like they're a literal underdog in this game. So I love both aspects of the game, and I'm gonna have some action in probably about 50 minutes. I put a little play in. But yeah, bro, it's exciting. Like we got Kirk Cousins light, in Indiana, and I'm still thinking of who Carson Beck gonna be, bro. But like I can't help but think of anybody other than Davis Mills.
Good college quarterback.
I don't see it with Carson Beck, but like as we know, Miami's always been like my school, like been like the school I wanted to attend, all these different things or whatever. Miami ain't never had no top like NFL prospect quarterback prior to Cam Ward. You feel me? Like, I mean, Jim Kelly came out of there some years ago, but I mean, Ken Dorsey wasn't no top NFL prospect. like anybody else. And I feel like Carson Beck kind of fits that bill. I think with this, you get to look at Scott, the nickel corner from Miami. You get to look at Malachi Tony,
Tony. Yeah.
who's a
he's a beast.
who's a freshman, but he'll continue to be able to blossom, and you see the different ways that he gets utilized. They got Fletcher over there at running back. They also got Francis Mauga, who's gonna get drafted top 10 as an offensive tackle, but their main thing that they've been able to hit home on is their defense is relentless. When you pair Bain and Massador together, along with that back end, I just think that we're looking to see an exciting game, and I can understand why Indiana coach doesn't want to be in the NFL ranks. He's pretty much preaching to these kids like being the underdog. You feel me? And like a lot of these guys weren't 4 or 5 star players. A lot of them are transfers from James Madison. you know, like
Mhm.
a lot of them were guys that didn't work out at previous schools, such as Mendoza. He was at Cal. Now it's like a storybook writing, man. Boy about to end his collegiate career playing back home at the crib against the school that he rooted for, he hoped to play for, Miami. Like if Indiana wins the Natty, that's it's a win-win for both organizations at this point. It's just amazing that Indiana has been able to put themselves in this situation. That's kind of the reward of NIL. I
Yeah.
think nowadays a lot of people are focused on the negatives because players are getting paid or entering the portal and stuff. But the positive is now is really a open market for teams to be able to compete.
You
Like,
gotta do it
That's
right
why Nick
though.
Saban got out when he did. Nick Saban was like, now the playing field gonna be level, bro.
oh yeah, because I mean,
You know?
if you Nick Saban at Bama, you could sell. You gonna get to the NFL ranks. You feel me? Like we gonna put you in the best situation, the greatest hub. But even Kurt, the coach of Indiana, he from under Saban tree. And so is Cristobal. Like all of them got some type of connection, but you can't just sell to a kid. Oh, you're gonna get the best coach in here. Like, nah, I need my bread and I need that opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, some people scared of that grid. And yeah, we now in luck of seeing two organizations get to new heights because Miami been out of it for a minute and Indiana ain't been in this fold ever.
But also, this is the beauty of expanding to a 12-team playoff system in college football because you don't sometimes get these type of teams to get up to this level. Like, what was Miami, like a number 7
Well,
seed, number 10?
they was like 11 or 12.
Miami
So
was
they wouldn't
like
even
snuck
be
they
in.
were
under the old
last.
system. They wouldn't
Notre
be there.
Dame was supposed to get that
You
spot.
know,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Miami leaped them. But
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm with you 100%, Dre. But at the same time, I think the downfalls with this like then you get teams like JMU and fucking who
But
the
you
other
can
thing.
fix that easily, though.
Who the
You
up-
know,
They ain't had no business. I just can't forgive the voters for not. It's
Yeah.
not. If JMU was like ranked 14 or 13, that's one thing. They was 25th.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's an easy fix. Like to me, they shouldn't have been in it, and you could easily not put them in that situation. But
They
either
gonna
way, I
keep
just
doing
think
shit
that
like that.
this is what it should have been years ago. My Florida State Seminoles was robbed a couple
Tulane,
of years
yes,
ago.
Amani Tulane. That was
Yeah,
the other
them two.
team.
But yeah, Florida State was robbed a couple of years ago just because Jordan Travis got hurt, and they had a hell of a season that year, and we
Now-
didn't get the benefits of going to the playoffs that year.
Now you are 100% right once again. But what happened when y'all played Georgia in that bowl game?
But keep in mind,
No.
Maul.
Oh yeah, no, they started drop. Yeah, all right.
Remember, Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, none of those dudes played in that game. They sat out because it wasn't a playoff game. The only person that would have been missing had this been a meaningful game would have been Jordan Travis. We still would have had that.
Bruh,
legit
then
defense.
you're right. They put up what 7? They put up 7. It was like
It
7.
was like 63-3 or something, but we had like third
That's
stringers
all
playing the
crazy,
whole game.
That was probably like the easiest point spread anybody could have took.
Yeah.
And I didn't take it because I was a bitch. All right. We don't we got coaches, like assistant coaches. Let's talk about that, and let's talk about the playoffs after that. Close out on what's going on in the playoffs. They promoted, Washington did, from within. David Blau and Washington filled out their offensive line staff. essentially promoting what's their names? Darnell Stapleton. He was assistant O-line coach. He is now their offensive line coach. And Shane Taub, who was another
Quality
offensive
control.
line coach. Yeah, quality control. Oh, they didn't. Okay, quality control. Now he is the assistant offensive line coach now for Washington. So that solves the two areas for the offensive line. And in essence, if I'm not mistaken, these two guys are having like their first role, their first experience in this role right now in Blau's offense. I think it's interesting from this. I think it's interesting from this standpoint. I'm indifferent. I'm still indifferent in terms of like what to expect out of a David Blau and what this means and things of that nature. I'm not formulating an opinion. I'm in an observant mode. Just watching things play out. But I do think for Washington to like lean on internal hires so far outside of DJ Williams. I think he does come with some experience. Obviously, he's moved around. And I think that's a big deal. I do think it's interesting for them to lean on the internal hires with the caveat or understanding that they didn't want Cliff here. So, like, they made these decisions, kept essentially everybody except for two people. And Cliff is really the only person out. You still have Anthony Lynn around. Dude from Philly. I think Brian Johnson. Like, that's your experience right there, sure. So like I wonder like just how much of a issue it was solely just on an individual, as opposed to like they don't think there's anything else that should be like adjusted, corrected, fixed with the offensive staff to help get this offense in a more consistent way or finding like that identity that they actually truly need on that side of the football.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that I take away from it is you hired a guy to be OC that's never called plays before, right? Whether it be from a high school level, collegiate level, professional level, and he's only been coaching for 2 years. You're seeing the ramifications of that person's lack of relationships around the league. The only relationships he would have are people that are already in the building. So like, for example, the offensive line coach, he's been in communication and been in rooms with him just because they've shared the same spaces for the last 2 years. You know, he's been like the assistant behind Bobby Johnson O-line wise. And now, you know, Blau gets his opportunity. Who can he really look forward to hiring when he don't have the relationships? So that's where it's like you still wonder what's going on with the Anthony Lynn and Brian Johnson situation, because there has to be some type of adult there on that side of the ball. You feel me? Like, and when I say that, I just mean from like someone that has like some type of resume, some type of background to help him throughout the week and game planning and all these other finer details to calling plays. But yeah, even the guy they brought in to be the quarterback's coach, somebody that, you know, I think they crossed paths maybe in like the XFL or AFL or something like that.
Well, he's just the assistant quarterback's coach, right under DJ Williams.
Okay, yeah, the assistant. But yeah, that's just another relationship that's thrown out there. I mean, I think it's easy to bring in maybe DJ Williams. That's not to take away from his, you know, credibility in his job, but I mean, Doug Williams is a very visible part of the organization, not just from, you know, a presence of what he brought to the organization back in the day, but he's heavily involved in a lot of decision making and gives his opinions. So that's why it's just kind of disappointing that maybe I thought that they might even go after the Falcons offensive lineman, who just became a hot free agent in that position coach opportunity with Bill Callahan gonna take that job. But yeah, I don't think there's really much you can learn from it. It's just, hey, let's see what really happens with Anthony Lynn and Brian Johnson, because those are the only two seasoned vets on that side of the ball that have like a long tenure of being in the mix of like calling plays or whatever. I mean, Bobby Ingram, the wide receivers coach, he called plays for Wisconsin back in the day. But yeah, it's just kind of like, who's really gonna make up this staff that David Blau can truly lean on? That's my main curiosity, because I don't have any information on Stapleton. I don't have any information on what's the guy Tua, you said?
Shane Top or two,
Shane
however,
Todd,
I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know his name.
two, yeah, like
Yeah.
won't have no information on that guy. So it's just, that's where it just gets a bit concerning. Like, damn, who can he really lean on? And then you see Mike McDaniel he didn't take the Detroit job. They hired Drew
Petzing or whatever his name
Princeton
is
from
from Arizona.
Arizona Cardinals. So I think a lot of discussion is gonna happen if Mike McDaniel doesn't take one of these head coaching jobs and becomes the OC somewhere, and now they're throwing out possibly Tampa Bay, because then it's like, man, maybe you could have just waited. Like, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on it, I mean, again, if you wanted a David Blau, then you don't wait, because you are probably scared that Detroit probably steps in and hires him. But again, you just have to be right. I mean, it's okay if this is who you wanted, this is who you believe in. You just have to be right about it. So it's only one way to find out. So that's why none of us really have like opinions on this, because what can we really say? We don't know him like they know him. But even with them knowing him, they don't know what the results are going to be. They don't know how fast he's going to get this thing off and running. But I mean, as far as the position coach hires that today announced with the offensive line coach, I think it was more surprising to me that you hired from within there when you fired Bobby Johnson. To me, it must said that there must have been some kind of conflict or something that clashed with the rest of the coaching and Bobby Johnson, because I thought when you fired him, you're looking to probably change the philosophy of what you were doing, but you just hired this assistant. Now, that's not to say they won't change the philosophy, because who knows what David Blau comes in with, or, who knows how drastically he changes the offense. But it just surprised me a little bit that they kind of stayed within house of that. But I guess the only encouraging thing I could take from it, because again, we don't know these guys either, Stapleton and Top. Both of them guys did play offensive line, like in college. So, Stapleton, I think he played in the NFL, or he might have played in college, but both of these guys were former offensive linemen. So they should know something about teaching, and they've been around the game long enough. And I know Top has the offensive quality control background, which is, for a lot of people that don't know, these are the guys that really help with the preparation for each game and game plan and helping the coaches game plan. So they must think something of him to kind of give him a little bit of an elevated role. But again, going back to Blau, it's just a wait and see thing. But like I said, I can't cry too much or speak too much about waiting on McDaniel, because who does know what McDaniel's situation is as far as he takes another job or not. But again, if you believe in a David Blau, then you had to make the move when you did, which makes me think, when I said from the beginning that you already had to know Cliff's replacement when you got rid of Cliff, because you don't sit around on your thumbs waiting for an offensive coordinator. Like, you can do that with the defensive coordinators, because those guys don't really go as fast and as hot as the offensive guys do, like especially if you think you got one. But for that offensive side of the football, you had to know the direction you were going in immediately. And they hired David Blau pretty quickly, not long after, well, it was maybe 2 or 3 days after they got parted ways with Cliff. He was named as the offensive coordinator. So that tells me that they knew that this guy was high on their list. They thought highly of him. We as fans, we don't know about him. Again, at the end of the day, it's just about being right. I'm not mad at the process.
Yeah, I think the first thing I did, I just went to some reporters' tweets and looked at the comments just for like a general viewpoint and perspective from the fans, and a lot of people just want to know, like, yo, what's the vision here? Like, what's the plan? And I think it's a fair question, but I also think it's too early. Like, I think what's important right now for Washington side, not us, but for Washington side is like, and I always say this actually, even with the last coach, like I said, look, if I understand what you're doing, I'll give you the rope. Like, you do your thing. Like, if this is what if you want to make that trade back to get X amount of picks, okay, let's see what you do with these picks. If you ain't want to take that star player at 11 or wherever we pick that draft, and you want to move back, okay, let's see what you do with these picks. If you want to move on from such and such, or if you want to transition to a different coordinator, I see what you're saying, but let's see what happens. I get if I understand your plan, cool. And I think for Washington, they're going with these people that they trust and that they've known for a couple years, maybe even longer. And they're giving these guys opportunities and experience, which is a big deal, but they're giving them opportunities. They know way more than what we do. So, like, if that's the route that you chose to go, okay, you making your bed. And maybe by the end of the season, the initial season with all these changes, when we look at that bed, we're like, damn, you did a pretty good damn job.
Yeah.
Or you can look at that John and be like, bro, what the fuck was you thinking? Like, it can really only go one or two ways. And like, if you end the season like in the middle of the pack or like middling, where you really still going to another season where you don't have any answers, you just as worse off to where you started if you have no answer or no direction.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could go either way, right? It's 50-50. But if it goes the negative way, the whole place is getting wiped. You feel me? And then, like, even we got a comment here from Black Mual. It's like, to sit here and think that David Blau has 3 years is insane. All he got to do is show him in year one that he could do the job, and he's off to be a head coach somewhere.
See, but
I
see,
mean,
I don't.
like,
I'm gonna let you finish, but there's just one thing, because even Sean McVay had 3 years with us before he left.
But Sean
He kinda
McVay
changed the
wasn't
trend, though.
really the OC though. Like,
Wait, what'd you say, Dre? And what'd you say?
Now, I said Sean McVay kind of changed the trend, because at the time when even Sean McVay got hired by the Rams, people thought that was a risky as hell move to get somebody that young. I think they're getting younger and younger, and I think teams are trying to catch that next lightning in a bottle, and Sean McVay was that lightning in a bottle.
What'd you say, AJ?
shit, I thought it was wild, and I knew Sean, and Sean was cool. Like, you feel me? But I was like, nah, bro, like, that's crazy. But it's just like, all it takes is just one person and it changes everything. Like, I mean, you got the Jaguars OC who's what, 32, 33? He's probably gonna get one of these jobs. I mean,
He ain't get hired yet.
how many jobs are available still? Like, I mean, we know the Falcons,
9.
the Dolphins just hired their head coach. Giants hired their head coach. So you still got the Titans,
Giants, Falcons, Dolphins hired. So it's 3 that's off the board. Bills, Ravens, Steelers. Bills, Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Titans, Raiders, and Cardinals. So 7 left.
Yeah, you still got 7 jobs. And yes, Sean McVay was the OC for 3 years, but he did not call plays. He was not the play caller.
The last year I thought he did though. What year did he go to LA? I can't remember.
2015, was it after Kirk, that playoff year?
No, he was there 2015 and 2016 for sure. I just don't remember the LA year. The LA year.
All I'm saying is, if David Blau does good with Washington, he's probably out next year. Like, he's gonna get a job somewhere. Like, he's gonna get a head coaching job either collegiately or NFL wise.
He gonna have to be like top 5 type offense, bro.
Hey man, I don't even think that matters. They, at this point, these organizations don't know who they want to hire, bro. Like, they just doing whatever at this point. Like, I mean, just look at the Dolphins. Like, maybe an hour before we came on here, they hired Jeff Hafley. Like,
yeah, they said they were blown away.
He's been calling plays for the Packers defensively, but in the time of him being a head coach at Boston College, he was ass. You feel me? Like, he still was able to elevate himself to get a job in the matter of no time. I mean, yeah, we can agree to disagree, but I feel like if David Blau goes and proves he is this next boy wonder, like many in the NFL ranks believe and have been told by the media, and he succeeds year one, he's out of here. Like he's gone. So it's just one of those things. As a fan, you hope that he succeeds, but we still don't understand what his offense is. We still don't know the player utilization. We're not gonna learn more about this until free agency. Like that's just the
Not
God, the
even then.
honest truth. I think from free agency you'll be able to understand how they look to utilize playmakers, whether it be the wide receivers, running backs, whatever. You'll have a better inkling. But yes, as far as like being able to dissect plays and all that, we're not gonna know that until training camp because
You know,
it can't be vanilla in training camp.
I do think it's
yeah,
interesting.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Trey.
No, I was just gonna say for me, I want to know just outside of even calling plays and putting together a game plan. I mean, those are the most important things, obviously. But I want to know how good is he at identifying talent? Like I like for my offensive coordinators to be able to identify talent and to say, this is a guy I know I can use in my offense, and this is a guy I know that will work in my offense. I mean, when I think about the great offensive coordinators out there, all of them seem to know some kind of talent or to be able to scout talent. We don't know that about David Blau. So maybe in the sense of AJ, what you brought up, and that we may learn something about free agency. Maybe depending on who they attack in free agency, we may start to learn a little bit about what he uses for a system and what kind of players or archetypes that he's looking for a system. That's going to be something to look at. But overall, I mean, yes, it's going to take us a while to learn more about David Blau, even as a play caller. I mean, not even in preseason. It's going to be regular season when we really start to find out about this guy because we have to see him consistently put together game plans. He can come out there and light it up week one, but then what happens?
He could run it up for the first 4 weeks. We still don't know
what happens when the defensive coordinators get the film on him and they start to know what his tendencies are and what his plays look like? How does he adjust? So it's going to take us a little while to kind of get to know this guy. So all of it right now is just going to be a trial and error thing.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the thing. I think the players, the only priority in the offseason when it comes to talent acquisition, is get the goddamn best players you can. Like, focus on getting the best players that you think can fit in your locker room. But get the best players you can, bro. This team just like flat out lacks it. And I'm talking about on both sides of the ball. Obviously, we're on the offensive coordinator side, right? And I've told you all, and I told on the show, like, you gotta just build up the talent, especially offensively. Like, get some pieces around Jaden. You know, you have the quarterback, so like this offense is going to be good regardless. But make sure that the ship stays afloat when you and have Jaden when Jaden's doing his bare minimum, his version of bare minimum. Like those superstars or those athletes on the boundaries, or those running backs or those tight ends are just taking the fuck off. And that's kind of what's most important. Fellas, I think who is it? Black Maul asked the chat. Should Dan go after Sean McDermott as defensive coordinator? That's the only thing I got on defense that we can talk about. We get to the NFL playoffs, but that's what Black Maul asked us. What do you all think about? I personally think that McDermott's gonna take a head coaching job. He probably got one of the top tier coaches now that he got fired. So I don't think that he's going for a defensive coordinator spot. But what do you all think?
Yeah, I mean, even if he did, be a hell no. Like, I mean, Buffalo has struggled to have a defense that could push them to the next level. I mean, you're talking about someone who's a disciple of Ron Rivera. Like, that's really what it is. And I think that those days of playing defense no longer exist. Like that scheme, like even Dan Quinn's scheme, don't really exist and does well in the league. You need someone that's going to threaten the quarterback more, like whether it be pre-snap, but especially post-snap. And I listened to a great interview that John Kahn did with Greg Williams recently, where, you know, Greg Williams was saying that his favorite defensive play caller in the league right now is Brian Flores. He's one of the very few play callers defensively that forces quarterbacks to have to think post snap more than anybody else in the league. Like, he throws everything at you from all different angles. Like, even Greg Williams got into breaking down how he got a play called Chucky that, you know, I guess in the offseason he questioned John Gruden about something. And then when they played Tampa, he did a double corner blitz or whatever, and he called it Chucky. Even like some audibles out of it were like called Gruden, whatever the case is. So it's like Brian Flores scheme and those type of guys that are aggressive to that nature, they can get quarterbacks to have to think so much more and force them to not be able to speed up their clock so much. And I just feel like those are the type of defensive coordinators that you want to bring into the fold in your system, especially if you have like a talent deficiency in some aspect. Because I mean, who knows the corners is playing for the Minnesota Vikings? Like, I mean, they really didn't have no back end. Harrison Smith, he's been with Minnesota for a long ass time or whatever. Smart player, but at the end of the day, they don't have no like elite player at safety, at either corner position, but they just were able to force the quarterback to have to think so much post snap and not knowing where the ball was coming from any angle. I mean, not the ball, but where the blitz was coming from whatever angle. It may not even be coming at all. You know, just that disguise. So I just don't like a Sean McDermott as someone to even consider. But like Maul said, I believe he probably gets another head coaching job. I mean, shit, it's seven damn jobs available, and you know he did succeed pretty well in Buffalo. He just couldn't get over the hump.
66% win percentage. I looked at it like, bro, like I thought about Andy Reid. That was one of my first things. Like a lot of successful coaches from the standpoint of like, you know, at one spot you do really good for an extended period of time. And granted, Andy Reid actually made the Super Bowl. He got out of his conference. But yeah, like maybe like you get a fresh start somewhere else, and it's like, all right, I don't have this situation. I maybe can go into a better situation. Maybe not have the same quarterback, but maybe I like the defense here, or maybe the offense is more well-rounded, but I got to find that. I don't know. Just
or maybe I just keep a damn job. I just keep a check coming in because that's just the other reality. Not every job you're gonna be able to
go to a low profile team.
You're not gonna be able to find a Josh Allen at quarterback that easily. It's just like you in a low profile place. The expectation is much lower, especially when you don't have a Josh Allen. Buffalo's been yearning for a championship so bad, like they're cursed.
Funny enough, bro, I think like getting fired this late in the cycle probably hurts McDermott.
I mean, in theory, yes, but it's so many open jobs and no one has made a decision yet. It's going to cause some of those teams to really think. And I say that because it's not a lot of proven commodities out there in the coaching cycle outside of the Harbaugh and the Stefanskis who just got hired. Now you got a Sean McDermott entering the list because a lot of the other guys hasn't been in the head coaching cycle yet. Those guys have been coordinators elsewhere, and those are the guys you're talking about filling those spots. But I think Sean McDermott immediately jumps up to the list. So some of those teams who haven't looked to hire a coach yet, they're probably happy. Oh, damn, you know, we just got a gift in a sense of Sean McDermott coming on the cycle. But for me, if Washington should bring him in as a DC, at the very least, if he's not a head coach, yeah, bring him in. And AJ, I know you said, you know, he's a disciple of Ron Rivera, but no, he's actually an Andy Reid disciple. He came from Philadelphia as a defensive coordinator under the Andy Reid coaching tree long before he came up under Ron Rivera. He just coached under Ron Rivera, but I consider him more of an Andy Reid disciple.
Why though? When Sean got his break in Carolina,
he was a defensive coordinator in Philly first, though, for years. He was a defensive coordinator in Philly for a few years before he went to Carolina and became a defensive coordinator.
You know what I realized? I didn't even know dude was on staff for Seattle Seahawks. But really, when Buffalo's defense took a major change is when Sean decided to start calling plays again. That's because when
Leslie was the DC,
and
right?
Leslie Frazier had a spat. They had a spat between each other which led Leslie to stepping away from football altogether.
Yeah.
Now Leslie is a senior advisor, some
Man,
type
bring
of coach for the
Leslie to
Seahawks.
DC, bro.
He's
How old is Leslie now? He gotta be like
I
70
don't
something,
know.
right?
Nah, I mean
We need
he's
like
probably
3
in his
years,
late
3-4
50s or
years,
early
bro.
60s, but he's
Yeah, Leslie
he's
in the 60s,
helping
bro.
Mike is it McDonald or I don't know.
Good Lord.
He's helping the
Mike
Seahawks.
McDonald, bro. He's 66 years old.
Yeah,
Up in Seattle.
he's helping
Yeah.
Seattle formulate their defense. I didn't even know Leslie was.
He's an
employed
assistant
at
head
the moment.
coach.
Yeah,
Assistant head coach.
so I'm even seeing people on the timeline like bringing Carl Scott. Shit, fuck a Carl Scott. Bring in a Leslie Frazier, if anything. Like he's always been a defensive guru and genius, bro. And really, that's when Buffalo really started having their pitfalls. Is when that spat happened between them, which caused Leslie to walk away from the game altogether. The defense ain't been right since, because he was the one calling the plays, and for real, Sean was just getting to be Dan Quinn. Like he's just getting to be the principal.
Hey, but you that's facts. But you know it's important on that side, comparatively speaking, for what Dan needs to do this time. He got the hire right. And Dan, you know, get that shit, get whatever you doing, whatever's taking so long, whatever process you going through right now, get that shit right, bruh. And worry about that potential drama later. But get that shit right.
Do we know of any, like, have we seen reports of any upcoming like DC interviews?
Maybe this week you'll start to see some, because I always think if you're waiting this long, then you look at who just got eliminated from the playoffs, and who was it? 49ers this week. The Bills got eliminated. The Bears and the Texans. So maybe someone for those 4 teams, the name might pop up as wanting to be
maybe
interviewed.
Al Harris gets his interview opportunity.
Who's on Houston's staff, man? Because that defense be balling, man. You know what I'm saying? Seattle's staff is
that's all
getting
D'Amico in my eyes. That's all D'Amico in my eyes. I don't care anybody else they mention over there. I'm like, they not D'Amico, dog. And when you get a Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. together off the edge, it's murder she wrote.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. Like when I talk about my biggest takeaway from the playoff games as it results to the Commanders.
Yeah, we transitioning too, by the way. We going to the playoffs, bro.
Yes. Now, my biggest takeaway is, if you ain't got something close or halfway as competent as these defenses I've seen this weekend, you don't have a chance. You can draft the running backs. You can go out and get all the wide receivers you want. But if your defense can't get stops on a consistent basis or even look halfway as decent as these teams in the playoffs this week, you don't have a chance. I'm sorry. Like Jaden Daniels, that's how you help Jaden. Get him somewhere close to one of these defenses you've seen this weekend.
Let me tell you about them boys in Houston, bro. That man, CJ Stroud over there, throwing up on himself all fucking game.
Yes. 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row, but specifically this week on the road in a hostile environment where you got a offense who's shown on that first drive, they're gonna move the ball. Nigga, you telling me like that Houston defense, bro, kept them in the game the entire time up until they couldn't. And it was on at the most, it was an 8-point game. I mean, when they were like still within it after like 4 turnovers, still an 8-point game, bro. Like that's super impressive, but that also just shows like how elite a defensive, a unit can be. Now, I think for anybody that's looking at that, Washington aside, think about other the fucking Bills, like they're in the playoffs. Any team, the Bengals, the Ravens. Oh, I actually got a little bit more belief in the Ravens. I think this year was just super weird. Their coordinator sucks. But the transition on how much time it's going to take for somebody to turn around and look like that, like the Houston Texans defense, bro, like your expectations, you better adjust them ASAP. Because that's super incredible. But to the point, man. Let's talk about your boy CJ. AJ, we was in the chat. You said you had your thoughts on CJ Stroud. Chat, where are y'all at with the playoffs this week? Since we're on the Houston game, that's why I brought up CJ. Bro, like I was genuinely disappointed. Like I had no other words to say except for like, bro, I can't believe you playing like this with the defense that you got, bro. I feel like he was wasting an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to Houston, and we're gonna break them down, I think having the lack of a Joe Mixon pretty much for the entire season. Woody Marks came in and tried to do a solid enough job, but you know, Houston they don't really have no weapons, bro. Like Nico Collins is a great wide receiver, but they don't have no true tight end. They have nobody on the offensive line. They traded Laramie Tunsil to Washington for a second round pick. He had some false start issues the year before, but in my eyes, Laramie Tunsil played like an all pro this year for Washington. So when you bring in a Trent Brown and Tyus Howard and having them play tackle or whatever the case is, that man not confident in that O line in front of him, and then also offensive coordinator change went from Bobby Slowick to a newer guy. I don't even know who the OC is. I think that CJ can still play. They just got to surround him with a bit more talent offensively because he just don't have any weapons. Nico in and out of the lineup. Last year they brought in Stephon to pair with Nico, but Stephon got hurt, unfortunately, towards ACL. Tank Dell, I think he came back and got hurt again. Yeah, they don't have no offensive weapons. So yeah, he looked a certain way. He looked like he's scared of what's coming next, and I can't really blame him not playing with nothing. The defense is amazing. You feel me? The defense is fire, but right now in Houston, they got to figure out with all these additional picks that they got how they can surround them with more playmakers on that side of the ball. Do they go get a tight end in free agency? Do they go get Isaiah Likely, a Kyle Pitts, or David Njoku to go alongside another wide receiver on the outside? I mean, they drafted a Jaden Higgins and I want to say a Jalen
Xavier
Rhodes.
Hutchinson.
Yeah, and Hutchinson, but I mean those guys ain't it right now. But I don't think CJ's ass. So I hated when I was seeing people like, "Oh, you should pull out CJ and put in Davis Mills." What the fuck you thought Davis Mills was gonna
Well,
do
I
back
mean,
there?
bro, like, can we be? I think 90% of the people who were saying CJ's ass is probably talking about the actual game. Like he was playing like some cold shit.
Bruh, I mean, but that goes back to now we go to the other side of the ball for New England. They spent their money last year on acquiring free agents like a Milton Williams. I'm just saying,
Oh
like
yeah, go ahead.
they retooled their defense. They retooled their defense by spending a lot of money and now bringing a Mike Vrabel who actually has a scheme and players that are gonna buy in. They look like a well-oiled machine defensively. And they don't have no marquee guys. They just got a collective of bodies that are willing to play together and do the damn thing. And they're getting after the quarterback.
So you think CJ Stroud essentially stood no chance?
I feel like no. Any team that got a solid pass rush, he don't stand a chance. I mean, you seen with Pittsburgh last week. Like Highsmith and TJ Watt was on his ass. And Cam Hayward.
How many fumbles he had against the Steelers?
He probably had like 3 or 4. He
No,
ain't had no damn time. He couldn't even climb the pocket.
Fumble 5 times. How many?
We gotta have some accountability, man.
That's where I'm leading to. He had 5 fumbles against Pittsburgh. He threw what, 4 picks, bro.
7 turnovers in total in the playoffs.
The first 3 was like, what the fuck?
Yes, there's accountability, but there's also the fact that shit ain't right up front, and it's been going on all season. It's not like it just started in the playoffs. He literally has been looking like that all season because of lack of comfortability, especially going against pass rushers, like going against premier top like defenses. Like that's just even Josh Allen. Josh Allen looked like ass too. Like
we call it ass when it's ass.
Most of us do. Some people like it is interesting, and we can get off CJ because I was actually about to go to Josh. Like the shit that he pulled this week, bruh. I'm like, yo, it's like the most egregious mistake. Like, you understand where you are. It's sure you about to go into halftime. It's 15 seconds left. But who said just casually just run the ball like you have no idea somebody may be trailing you, bro? Like, you ran the ball
back pretty much.
You ran the football 1,000 times No, I'm talking about before half when they got the easy field goal, bro.
I know because he fumbled.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, like, how do you have no awareness of where you are in this moment, in this situation, and you just the ball just comes out so easily, like no ball security, bro. And I'm like, bro, if you're gonna play like this in this moment, bro, like I don't know how you're gonna win. I have no idea how you're gonna win these big moment games when you play so recklessly in the moments where your team needs you to play like protective football. Not say play cautiously, but protect the football, play smart, bro. There's a difference between being aggressive and being like calculated. Like, you know when to take your shots. You know when you can fit the ball here and there. But like, who told you? I'm making up some. Who told you? You see this one dude, this 5'7" fucking midget of a receiver, and said, you know what, man, I could thread the needle in double coverage. I bet you he catch it, and it gets picked off.
Hey, bro, it's a different season once you get the playoffs. That's why I say all the time, like regular season, cool. When you get to the playoffs, like it's a different beast. So now when you just playing them 17 games, you ain't necessarily worried about the hoopla of can you finish in these moments. But it's real, Josh Allen. You still got to use your cell phone. You know, you use your cell phone, something gonna pop up with your name on it. Your friends, your family, like the people within the building, like it's just real ass pressure. You feel me? And I just think that those things are real when it comes to the playoffs. Like some people live up to the bill and some people don't. And that's why I think we champion Tom Brady so much for the success he had at quarterback. But yeah, that shit is real. Like Josh Allen may never get to the Super Bowl, even though that's what the media ultimately wants for him as a great white hope at quarterback these days, because everybody else is dominating at the position is black. You know, that's why they even try to throw him the lob for the MVP last year. But I mean, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, um, even the Jaden Daniels of the world, where we thought he was gonna get back there. He was one game away. Now they next great white hope is Drake May. But I mean that's just how the media work, bro. Like they want these guys to get there so bad because things are changing. Like,
but look,
and I'm not trying to make it necessarily a racist a race thing. It is MLK Day, but the reality is the quarterbacks that are taking over collegiate football and professional football are black.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, Josh Allen just need to play smart football. Like if there's any reason why McDermott got fired, bro. Honestly, bro, if I think McDermott was going to get fired if they didn't make the Super Bowl. Yeah. I think he was on his way out if he didn't.
McDermott should have got fired last year.
But that Buffalo roster wasn't good though. That Buffalo roster. I mean, look at the.
I don't think it was either,
bro. But they must think it's good. They promoted the GMs to now president of operations.
That's a whole different conversation.
I'm about to say that's a problem in itself. Like the GM is the one who set this shit up. Like you paid Josh Allen, now you can't do nothing with the roster. Like they ain't got shit they can do.
And who knows, Brian? It's a buddy system, as you've seen. Packers assistant GM got the job in Miami. He brought his buddy over there from the Packers. Probably Dayball, either Brian Dayball or Joe Brady would be the head coach in Buffalo. So,
what else happened this week, bro? Chicago almost pulled that bullshit off again.
Luckiest team in football. I mean, they had the rabbit's foot all damn season, man, because that throw had no business being completed. Like, it's one thing. I mean, it's one thing to say, Caleb makes these special plays, but god damn, man. I mean, me and Mual was talking about that cornerback. What the hell was he thinking on that last play? I mean, that's football 101 on not how to play a ball in the air.
If the Rams lost that game, bro, I would have treated him like how Green Bay treated that tight end who blew the onside kick, bro. I'd have cut that nigga the next day. You out of here, bro. I swear. I don't understand. Like the ball he had to get lost in the lights or something. Like sure, the tight end gave him a little nudge, but he ain't nudged him to the point where like it's an OPI.
No, he still had a chance to play the ball.
You tried to go up for the ball, and when you went up for the ball, like you like 5 yards away from the ball, bro. Like you just lost where it was, bro. And that's embarrassing, but it's also like, bro, you got embarrassed and you almost lost your team in the game.
Yeah.
But at least they lost.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't.
I guess we got to give kudos also to Dennis Allen for the Bears. He did a good job against the Rams offense.
He did.
I expected Puka and Stafford to go off, and it didn't happen. They definitely can. I think I heard during the broadcast.
Stafford was off all day though.
I think they said something on the broadcast where they told Dennis Allen with the job he was taking at DC that, hey, man, we're going to allocate most of our funds to the offense to help out Caleb. So you're just going to have to make do with what you have defensively. And I guess he made do. And maybe they spent
some money got hurt. I forgot his name.
And improve.
But Tyrone Stevenson.
Their starter. He tore the ACL or something like that. Jalen Johnson, right? Yeah.
He tore his ACL? I didn't know that.
I thought he been out for the season.
Chicago defense, though. That's the thing. I mean,
I was just thinking about like the actual pieces that he had. I know he lost one earlier. I'm about to check James Johnson
because I know I take the Jaquan Brisker. He's there. I mean, I take a couple of those guys over what we had.
Linger impact in his playoff return. So did he come back? He done inactive list. Oh no, I think he's still. Also, I think he's coming back. Matter of fact, I think he came back a little bit already. And when did he hurt? He hurt the ACL at some point. About that. Yeah, last year was last year. He got that shit. At least he ain't great.
He's decent. Yeah.
Well, shout out to everyone. Damn, Drake, not Drake, man, Bo Nix.
Oh man.
That's rough.
That is
and the fact that like I got that joint on Underdog Fantasy the alert. I don't remember what I was doing exactly. Maybe I was watching the next game and then just got this alert out of nowhere. Bo Nix out for the season. I had to like read is this an old? I was like, is this an old alert? Like, why am I getting this in the going into the championship game? Like, it's 2 games left. How is he out for the season? And then boom, dude. I had no indication during the game, no indicator, nothing.
They said it might have happened when he was celebrating with his teammates. That's what I heard.
Well, they said second play before the end of the game or some shit, but like I had no indication, bro. Like that sucks. If there's one thing that sucks, bro, that sucks.
What happens if Jarrett Stidham ends up leading Denver over New England?
Oh, it's not gonna happen.
That's a bad look for New England.
that is a bad look for New England, but it ain't gonna happen, bro.
But I will say, I don't expect it. I don't expect it to happen, but I also will say don't underestimate Sean Payton. Like I do think Sean Payton, he's gonna come in with a prepared game plan, but I don't expect him to beat the Patriots.
New England versus Seattle, round 2, bro.
Hey, don't count the Rams out, Mo. I'm telling you, they should.
I told you, you know them my dogs. You know LA my dogs, bro. But I feel like this one is just inevitable. I think
we all agree that the Super Bowl champion comes from the NFC this year, regardless of who wins. I think that's what happens.
I hope so. I ain't trying to hear cool Sam Darnold to get you a jump, bro. But I ain't trying to hear shit about no fucking Drake May. Like, I'd probably, I'd probably be off Twitter for like 2 months.
They wouldn't let us at the end of it.
Yeah, man. All right, that's it for us. We'll be back when we get some news. We do got guests coming up though too, so we'll have conversations here and there. And we'll definitely be around weekly, so that's no big deal. But if there's news this week, we'll be back. All 32 is coming back Thursday of this week with Nick, Rick, Rye, and myself. And then in terms of the interviews, we'll get some of those lined up hopefully starting next week. So y'all take it easy. Enjoy the Natty. And we out here, man. Peace.
Chop it down, chop it down, chop it down, you gon' chop it down. Chop it down, you gon' chop it down. Damn, set, watch you throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through 4th and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive, this is Trap or Dive.